bombarded with Prince Charles, and that we know is part of the
Yes.
Scottish Rite or York Rite.
Prince Andrew is Duke of York, so he's the head of the York Rite. And that's why people like Gene Scott, who can say he went out and spent 3 days on Prince Andrew's yacht, because he was specially asked to go out there. And we got a lot of people that were specially asked to go out and spend 3 or 4 days out on Prince Andrew's yacht, because Prince Andrew is the Duke of York. And now we're talking about the old York Order of York Rite Freemasonry and New York, the New World Order. So there's some shenanigans going on here that people don't know anything about. And it has to do with secret societies and subversive movements.
And of course, the Promethean world revolutionary movements that we approach only from a political standpoint actually have their origin in
secret societies of Freemasonry. Right.
So a lot of people are hoodwinked by getting involved
Absolutely.
only from a political revolutionary standpoint.
And not realizing who the boss is behind the scenes. And a classic example of that, and I'm going to lay this one on you, is we've been told for the past 50 years by our so-called news media. Our news media been telling us about this boogeyman. Soviet Union is going to get you. And boy, we got to spend $100 billion to protect ourselves from this terrible, evil empire. Now we come to find out the evil empire was like the Wizard of Oz, the old man behind the curtain, and the people starving over there. They don't even have apples to eat, and they're going to be an evil empire. Somebody has been manipulating our press so that we can make money, because remember, war is good business if you want to invest your son. So somebody is using us, manipulating us, and sending us to a blessing, to some more bloodshed. And you better find out how come it is that the Pope, the Roman Pope, has never been in England. Never, ever been in England, and ain't never going to go to England. Because when you understand the connection between England and America and the New World Order, and Rome and the old Europe under the Old World Order, then you're going to find out why the Pope has never been to England, and there's some real serious stuff here that we haven't got into that we ought to get into another time.
Certainly. We look forward to getting into this another time. We had to take this approach in order to lay this out so that people can have a background for when we come back and do another segment of this presentation, because we're going to get into the fraternal orders of banks. The whole banking system set out through the world. They themselves are part and parcel of secret societies.
And how they were set up in the year 1099. That's why in your income tax you got a 1099 form, because in the year 1099 those people were setting up some business. And that's where it comes from.
Exactly. Where can people get more information directly from you?
I was going to say, the best place to get more information is talk to me. So you can give them my address.
Do you have a number?
Yes, I'll tell you what. Just have them call or give them the address. I think the address would be better.
Okay.
Because I'm so very seldom ever in the office.
They can write to you at Jordan Maxwell.
Correct.
At 249 North Brand Boulevard.
249
That's
North
Brand,
Boulevard.
B-R-A-N-D, Boulevard, Suite 362.
Yep, Suite 362.
Glendale, California.
Correct.
And that's 91203.
Correct. And you might want to give them the phone number if they want.
Phone number is area code 818-507-4915. Area code 818-507-4915. We still have just a few more minutes. We can just close with something you can bring up, Billington, or
yeah, I was going to say, okay, here's something I think that's interesting. We were talking about at the beginning. I like what William Randolph Hearst said, and I wanted to bring this up. William Randolph Hearst, the American newspaper publisher, said, "Any man who has the brains to think and the nerve to act for the benefit of the people of the country is always considered a radical by those who are content with stagnation and willing to endure their own disaster." I am not willing to endure my own disaster.
So the things that we see coming down with the AIDS, and of course AIDS being a blood-borne disease,
yes,
and this whole secret society thing, going back into those ancient belief systems, the blessing.
That's right.
They are giving
Blood.
us the blessing.
Yeah, in your blood.
And this is the ideology behind this whole process. It's not just all of a sudden they just come out with AIDS, but it is connected to, there's an ideology,
ancient, old
behind
ideology.
it.
Right.
And of course we will get into that more as we go on. We will come back again and so that we can get more. And is there any other areas that we needed to touch on?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I want to touch on this one thing I think is very interesting. In 1953, now this might give you an idea about what's going on here. 1953, in the fall of 1953, Norman Dobb was director of research for the Reese Committee. And the Reese Committee was set up to investigate the foundations, those fine, admirable foundations like the Rockefeller Foundation and the Warburg Foundation, all them back east foundations that got them hundreds of billions of dollars that we don't know nothing about. And they are always giving that money to poor folks to take care of everybody. So there was a research committee put together in 1953, in the fall of 53, in which Norman Dobb was the director of research for the Reese Committee, investigating the major foundations. Okay, and according to the record, a man named H. Roland Gaither, who was the president of the Ford Foundation, met with Norman Dodd and told Norman Dodd this. He said, Mr. Dodd, quote, Mr. Dodd, all of us here at the policy-making level have had experience either in the OSS or with the European Economic Administration with directives from the White House. We operate here today under those directives from the White House. Now, when he was asked by Norman Dodd, then Mr. Gaither, what directives have you been operating under, he said, quote, the substance of those directives were that we shall use our grant-making powers in those private foundations. We shall use our grant-making powers to so alter our life in the United States so that we can be comfortably merged with the Soviet Union in the near future. Is there something going on here that we don't know about? This new world order?
Certainly, this has been an eye-opener, certainly, and we just scratched the surface. There's plenty more of material that we could have gone in. It was, once again, important to kind of lay out a foundation, and we can go into, you mentioned another Freemasonic movement.
Well, I wanted to get in next time, if we can, on the sun, the use of the sun in symbols of revolutionary movements and
flags.
And flags and cults like that. And all of those different sun symbols come back to God's sun. And now we get into Kabbalistic Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic use of the sun and the Messianic age, the New Age, which is coming, and it has to do with all kinds of interesting things. But in concluding my part tonight, I would like to say thank you to KPFK, and I would like to advise the audience to understand that what we're not doing is we're not trying to put down anyone's faith or religion. What we're trying to do is get to the bottom of what we're having to deal with in the world today. And if whatever it is that we believe is not true, then we had better find out about it and get to the bottom, because we are all on this planet together, and if we're a part of something that isn't true, it would behoove us to find out about it now. That's what I'm hoping to be able to do.
And we look forward to coming back, because this is a topic we will be discussing at length, and we look forward to going deeper into this, and that'll close out this